evening and welcome to game number 1 in tonight's Riot Trio Scrims. We are starting off in Vikendi and having a look at team number 2, Riot, with a flight path starting north, ending at east, going through Port, Coal Mine, Mount Kresnik, Podvosto, Cement Factory, and ending up just by the coast. Today I'll be joined by the lovely Jammy from Deathly Hallows.
Good evening.
And he'll be with us across all 3 games today. So, Jammy, what do you think we're going to see in today's game number 1?
It's a very tight flight line up in the northeast, which probably means we're going to get a first zone down in the southwest, half of which will be water. We've got hardly anyone jumping next to the flight line. Everyone's spreading out. We've got team 15, team 2 close to each other, heading over to Dobro.
Do you know what? It's good you're here then, because my zone guesses are absolute cack.
That's all right. We're about to find out what mine's like as well.
Right, I'm going to guess then Cosmo.
So I'm watching the map at the moment, just watching everyone spread out, and I'll let you know what happens with the first zone.
Thank you.
Team 2 and 15 have spread out slightly. We do have teams 14 and I can't see, it's team 5 and team 9 all in Peshkova.
Now I'm going to go straight over to team number 5. All we have... Oh.
So we've got a very western... So I wasn't far off. We've got a western zone, about a third of which is in water.
You're pretty much spot on.
Yep. See.
So what I'm going to have a quick look at is team number 5 is Zen, have landed at Peshkova along with team 14 and 9.
Okay, I'm currently watching team 16. They were very close over in Tovar with team 3.
Okay, shots being fired in my direction. Buffy has just been taken out. That's a member of Deathly Hallows. That is a member of Deathly Hallows out, with Buffy being finished off there. We've got Zen Naughty and what appears to be Zen Alex just splitting off from Nyx. Paige is now down. So Crazy is the last standing member of Team 14 at Deathly Hallows, and they have moved over at 50. We have Risk of Team 9 over at 20. The Zen team are now starting to push across that road, trying to get a little bit of rotation on the left-hand side to take the Risk team by surprise, and then presumably they will try and take on Crazy if Risk do not get there first.
So we've got teams 3 and 16 in Tovar getting very close to each other. There's no action just yet. We've had a couple of Uzi shots from 16.
And that is Crazy out. So that is Team 14, Deathly Hallows, out of game number 1, leaving Risk, Team 9 and 5 Zen remaining in Peshkova. But now I will come and join you with Team 3 and 16.
So I'm currently spectating Team 16. There were some shots earlier. I think they're backed off of each other a bit now. So we've got Team 3, which is Goddess, Killam and Zen. And then we've got Team 16, which is Snout, Junior and Supreme, scouting each other out at the moment. They're being a bit more cautious than they were at the start.
And keep in mind that Rendezvous Snout is the bounty for today. So whichever player kills them will receive an additional 4 points. If Snout manages to survive a game number 1 and wins it, then the 4 points will be carried over to game number 2.
I've gone back over to Zen Northy, who's got a knock on Hedy and he's thirsty to get out.
Oh, and Snout has just been knocked by Goddess. So the minute you leave, the action starts.
That's just how it is.
And Killam has just been knocked too behind a tree, just retreating back to Goddess and Zen to get revived. Now, Junior and Supreme, they've done a 2-1 split. So Snout is vulnerable on his own right at the back over at 2-4-5.
He's been killed, knocked down and thirsted by Shav from Team 9, from Risk, sorry.
So what are we seeing over there now? Who's remaining?
From Team 5, up against Shav from Team 9. Sorry, Team 5 against Team 9. So it's a 2v1 at the moment.
Holy hell. Rendezvous Supreme and Junior have literally just wiped Killam, Goddess and Zen in one. I don't even know what to say. They were just trying to get the revive, and just out of nowhere, they just rushed them, and wow.
So I'm now spectating Risk Shav, Team 9.
Let's come and join you.
Nix and Alex, is that from Team 5?
Yep, so Haiti was taken out. That leaves Shav on his own, or her own.
Yeah.
So we've got the members of Team 5.
Retreating.
Yeah, Nix and Alex. Shav's just moving back. Nix is moving right with his Zen Alex on the left-hand side. So they might try and get a bit of a sneaky rotation in and just creep up on Shav from either side. Because obviously Shav can only shoot at one person. Unless he's hacking, which he might be able to shoot at both of them at the same time. We don't know.
That's an accusation. So Nix rotates it right, but Shav gets the knock on Nix. And I think going to go over, try and get the thirst, or at least put pressure on, so they can't get the revive. Abstract just taking down Venom there.
But that's the thing with an AKM. If you can get that recoil under control, that can be deadly.
Yeah, it looks like Alex is getting the revive on.
And now Shav's...
Push with the molly.
Mm-hmm.
Through the door.
Ooh.
That was... Oh. Takes down Alex. First and Nix as well. That's a hell of a molly through the doorway there.
That was brilliantly thrown, and whilst moving as well. That was a great throw there.
We've got teams 18 and 10. 7 atoms against Gem Fitzy. Or Fitzy's actually, by the looks of it on the map, just driving straight past Team 18 near Coal Mine. Everyone's now pretty spread out at the moment. We've had some early action. We've got teams 4 and 24. Zen and ZPX down at Hot Springs. So let's have a look at Venom's point of view.
So we've got Lotus down on the Zen team. We've got Venom up on the mountain top. And Missy is trying to get the revive there on Lotus.
Yep, someone throws in a little flashbang there on Venom. I don't think the next one's going to be a flashbang. No.
Oh.
Up with a nade there.
And Corpse has just got a knock on Missy.
So we've got Lotus very low on health. We've got Missy knocked. Venom at the top of the hill trying to get round to Missy.
So what do you think they'll need to do now, Jamie, just to make sure that Team 4 do get out of this alive?
At the moment, they've got to make sure that Lotus is healed up and can maybe hold them off, just so they can't push while they're being revived. The players are aggressive, so I don't think they'll want to retreat, but they want to at least cover until they're all ready. So they're all back up now. Missy healing up. And as I say, they are being aggressive. They're coming back for the fight.
But one thing I have noticed is that with a lot of clans, you'll see the same teams going in. Now, I don't recognise Lotus. That may be a name change. But Venom and Missy are always paired up together. So do you think that synergy comes into play now?
Oh, definitely. Especially in trios where you don't quite have the full backup of a whole squad. If things go a little bit wrong, so you need to be on it from the start. You need to know each other's gameplay. It's somewhere. It sounds silly, but trios somewhere in between duos where it's just about knowing each other, and squads where you get a bit more flexibility. As soon as you've got one knock, the pressure can go on.
True.
But it looks like actually Zen are actually retreating.
And it looks as though the Paradox doing the same.
Retreating in the opposite direction as well.
Mm-hmm.
It may be that they've realised that the zone's the other side of the map, and they're just trying to take a more pragmatic approach and just get to the next zone.
And looking at Zen Missy, it looks as though she doesn't have access to first aids.
Yeah.
And that's true. She has got no meds whatsoever.
She's got some bandages. She's got full med. Oh no, that's... Okay.
She's just picked up 5 bandages.
My view's just switched over to Grassroots. Who are actually heading through to the zone, and they're coming up towards Team 16. It looks like they've gone at least a 2-1 split.
Saying that though, can I just draw your attention to Team 18 and 15, which is 7 atoms on Team 18, and it's definitely Hallow's Team 15.
Okay, let's have a look at Welshie. Okay, that's good timing. He's just been knocked. I wanted to have a look at Welshie because he is an aggressive player.
He's not at the moment.
The open now is very open field. They've got some damage on one of the setting Atoms players. Revolt now very low as well. So it looks like he's going to be Tango who might have to do some of the heavy lifting in this encounter.
Oh, Tango's down.
Yeah, so we've got Welsh and Tango down. Revolt's got a heal, but he's very, very low. He's taking some damage. And that's it. 7 Atoms take out DH. It was unfortunate. They were in very open ground there. Over in Dobro, we've got Risk Shav, Team 9, having survived the encounter with Nix's team, is now over looking at a drop with Team 2.
And Riot Ghost has just been knocked.
Now they've got the flare drop.
AWM and an M249 inside. Hasn't been taken though.
No, I think it now has. Yep, there we go. Shav's got the M249. So if you ever needed a weapon to go against a squad with, it's an M249. But there's being surrounded at the moment. Got 2 in front of the stadium. Oof, excellent gunplay there. But also got Ghost Jr. behind. And being pushed, I believe. Yeah, here comes the molly. Oh. Good tactical play there by Ghost Jr. with the molly. Didn't try to just go for the gunfight, although runs through their own flames. I think, no, not quite on fire.
So you've just mentioned the M249.
Yeah.
One gun that I would say is very similar to that is a DP28.
Yes.
They both take ages to load. But which one would you rather go with? And why?
If I can get hold of it, I'll take the M249. As long as I don't try and reload it like I do a normal AR, which is after pretty much every burst. We have got teams 21-22 close to each other.
Let's have a quick look. So that is HS, who is Hard Shift, and Salty Snakes.
Yep. So I'm currently spectating Avery, who's got, I can't see who that is, Hardman, in their sights.
I'm looking at Hardman, he's got an AWM.
In which case he's going to probably try and get a view on, but Avery's currently behind the building, just peeking every so often, knows where Hardman is by the look of it, just see the top of his helmet every so often.
Now, if Vimes Gaming was here, he would have a go at me, because I keep mentioning splits.
Yeah.
But that is exactly what we're seeing Team 21 do now.
Yep.
Why are they doing it?
Well, they're doing it so one of the players can try and keep them busy, maybe draw their fire in a direction, so they're not looking in the direction where the other two are, and they can sneak round, as they are, trying to get round behind Team 22 and take them by surprise. Oof. That was a hell of a nade there on Avery. It was lucky that the building shielded most of that blast, all of it actually, but it was a very accurate nade.
And another one's coming in, courtesy of Hardman. Ooh.
And another nade now takes out half of Avery's health. So I think it's almost, it's still a 2-1 split, but it's almost, they've got them surrounded with 3 players, which is a good feat. They're certainly keeping them occupied. It looks like, going for some smoke out the window for Avery, just try and cover a retreat by the looks of it.
But from what we know about Salty Snakes, they have always seemed like a really forceful team. They're not afraid to push, but they're not
afraid to push. But sometimes even the most aggressive player has to recognise that sometimes you might be in a position. It's not necessarily the gunplay and the ability. You might just be in a position with zone or just be a bad luck or good play by the other team that actually they've pushed you in a position where you just have to retreat.
And that is what we've just seen Avery do. So they're now regrouping. They've got the vehicle there. They've got a Dacia. So they could be using that to make a getaway very shortly.
Yeah. So they're regrouping, probably boosting up, collecting whatever tacticals they can, and then maybe even try and get a getaway. They're close to the edge of the zone, but they're well into the current zone. We'll see where the next one breaks. So there's no great pressure. So we've got some shots going off.
Okay, so we're now seeing smokes. We've got Hardshift Spartan, who's done a massive rotation around the right-hand side.
Yep.
we are now seeing Hardman coming too. Just in the distance at 120, we can see Jen, Team 13.
Yeah.
So they're still trying to push. They're relentlessly pushing on Team 22.
They are. They've regrouped. And if you see what's happened is where they've regrouped, Team 21 have no longer got the surround on them. So they're all pretty much over on one side. So they've lost that advantage they had by being spread out.
True.
So by some good play, just a minor retreat, but let them regroup, and they've now pushed Team 21 into changing their tactics.
But do you think Team 22 know that?
They won't know where they all are because if you look, one of the players from Team 21 is actually rotating round now, and they've gone back with another 2-1 split. This time they've got the 2 at the front being more aggressive. They've got some nades in, some mollies. They've got some serious damage onto Avery. So whether they know that the other players rotated, I don't know yet. So
it looks as though Avery's just being the shield for Team 22. We've seen Fuji back off massively. Yep. So Hardman's on the roof. Fuji down.
Gets knocked.
Oh.
So what we've got the third player. They hadn't noticed where he was at all. So they've now had to change their focus back to the third player. They're in a bit of a tough spot here, although Hardman is peeking quite wide, is making it quite easy to see.
But they have just lost Fuji.
Trying to confuse them a bit.
So it has now become a 3v2 with Fuji being taken down.
So Fingod coming down, looks like he's possibly getting ready for a fight. Rather than staying upstairs and defending, he's actually coming down to where he can be a bit more aggressive.
And here come the smokes. So it looks as though Team 21 are preparing for a hard push. Here comes Sponge in a vehicle.
Yep.
A little bit misguided.
Coming out the back behind the wall here.
Oh, Spartan's down.
Yep, with a molly, they got some good damage into Spartan. Fingod gets knocked. So we've now got 2 players knocked, one from either team. They're both in the same room here.
So by firing the random shots.
Didn't quite make the wall. There he goes, just vaults over the wall. So he's trying to get himself some distance so he can then try and get some shots on. And I'd imagine Fingod is trying to give him some information about where everyone is. Oh, and Avery goes down, and that's the end of that team.
And then Hardman just gets knocked down there by the play zone with a little bit of helping hand from Avery there.
But so we did have some action over in Dobro, I noticed. Unfortunately, we didn't catch that. But the teams are a little bit spread out at the moment. They've all rotated to see where the next zone goes. So there we go. Between Dobro, Curtis and Goroka. So quite a hilly but fairly open zone. Not a lot of big towns yet.
So based on what the zone has now given us, what do you think the teams will have to do?
At the moment, they're going to have to try and find some cover because you've got lots of small compounds that will give you a bit of cover, but there's a huge amount of open ground to get to those compounds. So you see teams like Supreme Team 16, Team 23, 18, they look like they're trying to place themselves early for the zone. We've got teams 4, 17 and 10. They're getting very close to each other. It looks like they're trying to get to the same compound.
And I guess
a high up view. So we've got Venom, Missy and Lotus, who we saw earlier. They're coming up against Team 17. I don't recognise the clan tag on that one, I'm afraid. But they're in the same compound. They're in next door buildings. And then we've got Jen, Team 10, just behind them. And we've got another Zen team, Team 7, across the road from them. So we've actually got 4 teams in very close proximity.
And I guess the thing about the small compounds is that, don't get me wrong, they give them cover from fire.
Yeah.
But they will not be able to hide their location.
No.
And
they're so close. I mean, certainly Team 4 and 17. In fact, we see a Molly going in from 17 to 4. And Amzi gets taken out by Missy, gets knocked. So they definitely know where they are. And look, Lotus and Venom are now pushing on the other two. So we've got effectively a 3v2 now. Missy's... Oh, yeah, so now it's a 3v1. An excellent nade there. Although Lotus goes down. And that's the end of Team 17. So then they can heal up and regroup and get ready for what I assume will probably be an assault by Jen, Team 10. Although they, at the moment, are looking at the direction they're looking in. They're looking over at Team 7. So they would have heard the action. They're in the middle of two different squads at the moment. And then further over to the north, we've got Team 16, which is Snout, Supreme and Junior.
But saying that, don't get me wrong, I've been doing this for about a couple of months now, and from what I've seen of Jen, they don't seem like a clan that push.
Well, you say that actually Fitzy at the moment has gone up ahead on his own, maybe he's just trying to get some information. I don't know if he'll take on a fight, but we've got Nick and Temp who are looking over at Team 7, but Fitzy has come over on his own to have a look at Team 4.
But they might not have a choice being so open.
Well, whether it's just information gathering, but they're all out of zone now. See, the zone's broken again. These are all out of zone. So Team 7, especially, they're going to have to all try and push over towards Team 16 into the zone. Oh, Lotus takes down Nick from Jen. Temp's coming in for the revive. Maybe they don't know if it's there. Maybe they don't know he's that close. No, Temp gets taken down by Missy. And that's it. So Fitzy goes down. So that's Team 7 taken out. Again, with the Zen team there with 17 kills now. They've had a couple of good gunfights there.
17?
Sorry?
17 kills?
17 kills.
I thought you said 17. I was like, what match have I been watching?
No, they're good. They're not that good. Not yet.
Oh, be nice. Be nice.
Oh, Jen's killer taken down by Zentora.
Let's have a quick look over.
Down in the
No,
south, so that's the end of that.
And we still have Rendezvous Snout in place, so the bounty has still not been found.
No. Venom takes down Spartan.
I am with Zen Missy at the moment. I'm just going to go to bird's eye view to get a better all-around look.
Okay.
Oh, that's Hardman. Just almost knocked there.
I'm currently on Lotus at the moment with the Tommy gun, actually, with the Thompson. SMG, not quite as powerful, but it's got a 50-round mag. And it can do some serious damage on a team.
Get an extended quick draw on that and you're dangerous.
Yeah. They're going in with the molly. But gets knocked. So Lotus down. Still got Missy and Venom up. And we've got three teams probably coming into play here. Because Team 19 are coming round as well. So Team 21, Team 16, Team 19 all in close contact here.
I love Hardman. He is knocked, but what he's trying to do is distract Missy.
Yeah.
But Missy's actually taken down.
Information back as well. Oh, so Venom takes down Sponge, so that's... Missy will get the revive on Lotus. Yeah, that was very... Oh. Yeah, sorry, it disappeared off my screen then. That was very close, very low on health.
And I will just jump in there. FE Towel has just got the kill on Snout of Rendezvous, so that means that the FE team are getting a bonus 4 points for game number 1.
So we've got Team 18, Team 16, with Team 23 spectating.
And 7 Atoms Owen has just been taken down by Rendezvous. Snipes is taken down by Xander of Grassroots with an M24.
We've got Xander, Trippy and Hippie Boy together, and they're pretty much watching the fight here between 16 and 18, and they're just clearing up the remains, really. So we've got 2 players here from 7 Atoms still alive, 1 knocked, and health running out low. and the other player is, it looks like, out behind the building, and trapped with shots from both sides. So he's taking shots from Grassroots Team 23, but also taking shots from Team 4, Zen.
And I'm watching Seven Atoms ascend, just getting the revive now on Seven Atoms snipes. We've got Grassroots over at 240-ish, and we now have Team 4 Zen coming in from southeast.
Yeah, so Team 4 coming in from the southeast. So Grassroots against Zen. This could be quite a good gunfight if they get into it. And Team 18, if they can get revived, everyone knows where they are now. Although Team 4 have just rotated in, so whether everyone knows where Team 4 are now, I don't know.
And presumably in a moment's time we'll get our top 3.
Yeah, Missy gets knocked by Xander. So Team 18 did get the revive on. They've got some meds in. They've taken advantage of the fact that Team 4 and Team 23 are getting into it together to get out of the building, get some heals in, and throw as much smoke as they've got.
But is it just me, or do we have a relatively large zone for just 4 teams remaining?
Definitely, yeah. Having said that, it's now shrunk down, so we've actually only got Team 7 who are currently in zone.
And Snipes has just gone down.
At this moment. It's probably wise, because these guys are using up meds, they're using ammo, tacticals, they're using everything they've got in this gunfight. So when they get to the final circle, Team 7, even though there's only 2 of them, they could be in quite a good position here.
And I am with Seven Atoms Ascend, just preparing a grenade to go into the window by Grassroots. It looks like Xander has moved out of the way, so that's going to do no damage whatsoever.
No, so I'm currently watching Xander now. Going out the back of the building, having a look, see what's around. So I think by the looks of it, he knows where Seven Atoms Ascend is. He's throwing out a nade. That's forced him to move, and now a molly. Now he's got into open ground. Great bit of play there from Xander.
Hippie Boy was
He
knocked.
followed it up with the molly and then made sure he was there to finish him up with the AK.
Mm-hmm.
And that was just about getting him to move from behind that rock. So Tora takes on Missy, so we've got a Zen on Zen action there. So Team 4 are now rotated to the edge of zone. I don't think they're not quite in zone where they are in this rock actually. So they're going to have to move around a bit. They've still got Team 23 behind them, but Team 7's sitting quite well in the zone at the moment, and Missy's still knocked.
But we now have our top 3 with Grassroots, Zen and Zen. We have Zen Team 7 inside zone, so they will now be able to gatekeep Team 4 and 23 from coming in. All teams have kills of their own.
Team 23 coming in with a vehicle now, I believe.
I don't think they've got a choice not to.
No, they've got to push past Team 4. So I'm currently watching Lotus. They've dropped one of their players off, so they're going to 2+1. So that way they can get the angle. Though Missy takes down Xander, Tora takes down Hippie Boy.
And that is Grassroots done.
Yeah. So Grassroots, they came in with a vehicle. They came in quite aggressive. Lotus there blows up the car, just try and use it as a bit of extra cover. Tora takes down Venom. So we've now got effectively a 2-on-1. Because I'm not sure if Lotus can get to Venom. Sending out some smokes.
And Zentora is the only player who is inside the zone at the moment.
Yeah. So we've got, 30 seconds. So there we go, Venom's down. So we've now got a 2v1. 2 of those players aren't in zone. So Lotus does have cover with the rock and the cart, taking shots now. I think that was Tora.
Yep, we've got Tora firing towards Lotus of Team 4. We've got Saeed just behind the shed. Saeed's now moving back, trying to get that bit of rotation in. If he can hold Lotus back, then Tora might just have to throw a few shots.
That's brave. Those vehicles do not like being shot at. They do tend to explode, but there we go. So we've got Zentor and Saeed.
Coming in first with 7 kills there. We then have Zen in second with 14. We have Grassroots in third with 5. We have 7 Atoms in fourth with 6. We have Rendezvous in fifth with 5 kills. We have Fusion Elite in sixth with 1. And then we have Hard Shift in seventh with 6 kills. Jammy, what do you think of game number 1?
It was good action. There was a lot of action through it. I have to be honest, Saeed and Tora, they managed to get away from a gunfight, and I think it was just a little bit of luck with the zone, but also they positioned themselves really well, made sure they were in zone, and they waited for everyone else to finish themselves off, really.
Do you know what? I actually think they're relatively unheard of. I don't recall them taking part in many scrims that I've streamed, but they've made a good first impression.
No, I agree. They're not. So, you know, when you watch the scrims or you take part in the scrims, you do see the same names a lot, and although you might recognise the name, they're not usually at the top of the pile. So I think it's a good win, especially as they're a duo against a field of trios.
Very, very true. Now, we'll be back in just a moment for game number 2, which is going to be a Miramar match. As always, if you have enjoyed the stream, please follow the channel for more content. So please join us in just a moment for game number 2. This is the Riot Trio Scrims on a Monday. I am Abs, and I am with Jammy of Deathly Hallows, and we will be right back.